Good morning, happy Thursday. It is. Welcome to the Property News. Hi, I'm Rick Gannon. Welcome back to my channel. Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to today's Property News Live. If you are new here, I'm live every day and I have been forever at 8:30 just to share all of the latest breaking property news with you, so you don't have to go out there and look for it. So please click on that share button. Please make sure that we can bring as many people into the feed as possible. Now, we do have a little rule here. You've got to say hi. We do a few shout outs, and that just brings all of the communities together just so we can have a chat in the comments box. So whilst you're doing that, let's get straight into the first news feed. An investing company claims that some investors who buy at auction lose money because of misrepresentation in the legal pack. The Mystoria Group claims that many auctioneers do not get involved after contracts are exchanged to resolve disputes. Mystoria says that investment properties going to auction with tenants in situ need to have all obligations met in advance. This includes, for example, the deposit protected with an authorised scheme and the prescribed information served on the tenants as required. If an investor buys a property with tenants in situ without the assurance, and further down the line the tenants provide evidence that they have paid a deposit prior to moving in and it has not been registered in a government approved scheme, the new landlord will be penalised and forced to pay up to 3 times the amount of the deposit. The new landlord. Mish Leonage, the managing director of the Mystoria Group, comments that increasingly we are hearing of investors that have lost significant amounts of money at auctions after going through the purchase process. Investors are finding that the development or conversion plans that they have proposed to carry out are no longer possible as there are sitting tenants, with no evidence that the deposits have been protected with any approved scheme. We are aware of a situation where an investor stands to lose £28,000, comprising the 10% deposit auctioneer fees, conveyancing, legal and planning application costs. The intention was to convert the properties to HMOs, but the legal pack, he continued, failed. Not surprisingly, the auctioneer or the selling agent did not want to get involved, citing it as a legal matter, despite the investor following the legal advice and the law of the country. He stands to lose a significant amount of money, as it was possible for him to complete on the property without resolving the issues on the legal pack and the tenancy. This case highlights how costly this game can be if things go wrong due to major issues with pre-ownership. We are urging investors to be ultra careful when purchasing property at auction. While vendors and auctioneers gain, buyers stand to lose hard-earned cash. My advice to investors who are considering purchasing property according to Mystoria Group with tenants in situ via an auction is to do your homework on the legal pack, especially the ASTs, well in advance. Also seek legal advice from the outset, and if there is a dispute after the exchange, ensure from your side as the buyer you perform all of your contractual obligations so that you are not in breach, and also keep a log of all of your correspondence. Really important there if you are buying at auction, folks. So let's do some shout outs. Where is everybody again today? Everyone's hibernating, I think, because it's so cold. Adnan, good morning. Does it say where you're from? East London. Yes, it does. Good morning, Carol from Huntington. Good morning, Adex. Nice seeing me at Clubhouse. Okay, I'll be back there again in about 20 minutes, so please do join me. Good morning, Skent from Dubai. You are our international listener this morning. Good morning, Sarah from Lymington. And good morning to a Facebook user. Doesn't say who you are. Kev, good morning, Kev. Good morning, Paul from Worcester, just down the road from me. Good morning, Mandy from Manchester. Maria watching from YouTube, good morning. Christina watching from Cheshire again, and hope you are doing well. I am, thank you. Hope you are too. Good morning to Christy. Love your clubhouse rooms. Thank you, Christy. Good morning, Attila from YouTube watching from Cardiff, and Stephen on YouTube as well this morning. Good morning. Paz watching from Brighton. Good morning, Mark from Billingham, and Andrew from Lincoln, and Megan from South Wales. Don't forget to give yourselves a shout out. If you do like this news feed, please click on the share button. Now, about 2 weeks ago, we did a little competition and we got to 80 shares. It's the best we've ever done. Let's see if we can just do a few today. What's next on the list today? Agents and a wide range of property experts have demanded yet more government funds to end the cladding crisis that is making hundreds of thousands of homes hard or impossible to sell. Now, this is big news at the moment. Everywhere we look, it's all about the cladding. Yesterday, the government announced an additional £3.5 billion on top of an existing £1.6 billion commitment. And this combined sum would be directed at removing or making safe the cladding on tower blocks over 18 metres in height. There will also be a development tax to be introduced next year, which will bring in an additional £2 billion over 10 years to be spent on long-term cladding remedial work. However, blocks below 18 metres in height will not have fully funded remedial work, and the leaseholders who own properties within them will instead be offered loans. The government pledges that repayments on the loans will be capped at a maximum of £50 per month. Concerns over the overall spending total and specifically the loan system for the affected lower-rise buildings have prompted criticism. Dominic Ajace is the chief executive from Winkworth, says the government needs to allocate funds to remove cladding and fire safety defects from all blocks, irrespective of height. Most important of all, homeowners in lower rise blocks should not have to bear any of the cost to make their home safe. A loan scheme will mean these homeowners will be shackled with another financial burden, which could make it extremely difficult to sell the property. Property Mark's chief policy advisor, Mark Hayward, has said, "We hope that extra funds announced today will make the process quick, efficient, and cover the work needed to resolve any safety concerns that residents face." Today's announcement is just the start, and the government must now also commit to completely eradicating this type of cladding to ensure the safety of all properties and residents, not just in England, but across the whole of the United Kingdom. And Jonathan Frankel, head of the Property Litigation Department at Cavendish, commented, "The £3.5 billion announced is completely insufficient to deal with even a fraction of the blocks up and down the country where these repairs must take place, but the fact that it only applies to buildings over 18 metres will cause even more uncertainty for those residents and leaseholders living in lower rise blocks where they feel insecure and unsafe." It's a big deal right now, isn't it? Big deal. Next on today's news, rents have risen gently across most regions of the UK, but worries are growing over the longer term economic landscape. HomeLet's latest lettings market index shows the UK's average rent is now £981, and that's a 2.9% increase on last year when London is excluded. The UK's average rent is £839, showing an increase of 5.8%. 9 of the 12 regions monitored by HomeLet showed a year-on-year rise, with the Southwest seeing the largest increase for the 5th month in a row at 8%. Rents in London continue to fall, with a 3.9% drop between January 2020 and January 2021, the 8th decrease in annual variance in subsequent months. Rents in Northern Ireland are down 2.1% on last year, and 11 of the 21 London borough groupings monitored by HomeLet show an annual fall. Meanwhile, last month, the average tenancy before a renter moves to a new home was 2 years and 9 months, marginally higher than last year when the figure was 2 years and 8 months. HomeLet Chief Executive Andy Halstead said, "We're seeing the value of the private rental sector's responsiveness and the crucial role it plays in supporting the changing needs for people across the UK. The data continues to show that demand remains exceptionally high in many areas, and the needs of tenants have shifted throughout the pandemic, creating upward pressure on locations that offer more space both inside and outside the property." Next today, there is a substantial investment going into the private rental sector by individual landlords, according to evidence from the latest edition of the English Housing Survey. Data from the most recent survey analysed the National Residential Landlords Association and shows that investment in energy efficiency is particularly large. Since 2007, the proportion of homes in the private rental sector achieving the highest EPC levels has risen almost fivefold and is continuing to increase, according to the NRLA. Landlords have been responding to market demand, tenant requests, and their own concerns for the environment. This investment is now being made at a time where there's been little rental growth, nor is future rental growth likely to be significant. Yet, at the same time, landlords are being asked to make significant investments in their properties for reasons other than the prospect of being able to charge market rent premiums. This is happening at the same time as the English Housing Survey suggests that in London, for example, rents have fallen in monetary terms. The NRLA's analysis continues. Outside of London, however, median rents did at least show an increase. The increase in median rents to £162 from £159 per week is equivalent to 1.9% increase. Although it will depend on how this figure is calculated, we can say that rent increases are at or even below other measures of price changes. What do you think, folks? Have you got any comments? Let's have a look in the comments section. Lots of people saying good morning. Mandy saying, as my property falls under the 18-metre rule, they need to get the developers responsible for the costs. It's big news, Mandy, at the moment, isn't it? It's a really big thing right now. Lots of people still saying good morning. I've done the shout-outs, everybody. Any more comments coming in? Hello, Paul. Paul saying good morning from the New Forest. Right, folks, that's it for today. Those are your top 3 or was it 4 news bulletins. Very quiet one today. Where is everybody? I'm going to be going over to Clubhouse in 10 minutes. If you'd like to follow me over there, we do discuss the same news bulletins, but we bring them to life and we debate them. So it's a great, great room. Very different at the moment. So I'd love to see you on the other side. So, folks, if you do like this, click on the like button. Please do click on the follow button. Make sure that you share it to your community. We've been doing the newsfeed now for what seems like forever, and we've maintained our audience. And I think, if you're still getting value from this, I'm going to continue to do it. But I do need a little bit of feedback. So I'd love to know what your feedback is. If you are getting value from this at the moment, the numbers do fluctuate. We average at about 60, 65. Today's very quiet, but I do know that people do check in and check out, and they come back, etc. So if you do like this news feed, I'm quite happy to continue to doing it. You do need to give me some feedback. If you put your comments in the comment box below, let me know what your thoughts are, and then we can continue to do the same. I've got a bigger audience on Clubhouse at the moment, but I am quite happy to stay here. You've shared it, Sarah. Thank you. So, folks, I welcome your feedback. Put it in the comments. Are you happy with the way things are? Let me know. But in the meantime, I'll be back here tomorrow at 8:30. Don't be late. And don't forget, no matter what you do today, make sure that you have some fun. All right, take care. Hi, I'm Rick Gannon. Welcome back to my channel.